Now, I'd like to present the next trim mode, this being the slip trim mode. And in order to do this, I'd like to drag a third clip into my timeline. To do this, I'll first close the trim editor and return to normal mode. If I look at the whole thing again, we can see that the rider jumps starting here, and when he lands, I'd like to go at this point back to clip 3. I'll find clip 3 from here, and by double clicking it, I open it in the preview window, and I'll select a section of the clip. I'll choose from here, where he lands, which is where it starts becoming interesting, and I'll place my insert point. I could do this using the I key, or if the correct button isn't available up here due to my layout being too small and I wish to use the mouse, I can find it by scrolling through the options via the left and right arrows, until I find the Set In Point button. So from here, I'd like to have the clip. And up until here is enough, and so I can set my out point here via the O key. I'd like to now insert it at the cursor position. I'll put Edius into overwrite mode and drag it to the location. I can remove the remaining section here. I'll zoom in and click in this field. And we can see that where the motorbike lands, we need to edit further, as it isn't perfect. But from the viewpoint of functionality, it is for now fine. Now, I'd like to change back to trim mode via the F6 key. And now we can discuss the new trim mode, the slip trim mode. I'll change to this mode and activate the middle clip. And we can see, as the symbols show, that the in and out points of the clip are displayed. If I try to move this clip with my mouse, I can see 4 images in the trim editor display. And if I try and move the clip, we can see that its position in the timeline remains fixed as before. In order to see what is happening more clearly, I will close the bin window and enlarge the preview section of my preview window. And now I'll start trimming. And we can see that both the in and out points are being adjusted simultaneously. What this means is that I can adjust what content within the clip I want to see without adjusting the length of the clip. I can move right up until the point the motorbike rider has landed in the right picture. And in my first image, he has already jumped. This could happen, and I'll look at it in my preview. I'll position my cursor somewhat further forwards in the timeline, click on play, and yes, that is almost perfect, apart from the fact that he lands much further back in this clip than he does in the following clip. And so I need to trim it. I'll switch to clip 3, but I'll change to trim mode in point. And find myself a slightly later in point, for example here. Now, however, I can see that a gap has appeared, and so I'll undo. This occurred due to me being in overwrite mode and not insert mode. And now I can complete the trimming. This should do, and so I'll check it out in context. And yes, I can keep it just like this. The final bit of optimizing in the trim mode in point was of course just to make things somewhat neater. What was important about this chapter was how we used the trim mode slip. With this, I can decide what content I want to see in a clip without changing its length by simultaneously trimming the in and out points. And in so doing, I can, in effect, scroll through the clip.